This episode is brought to you by our good friends at NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. I'm sure by now you've all gotten back into your Sunday routines, but they could be even better. With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get the most live NFL games all in one place, every game, every Sunday, and you can even watch up to 4 different games at once with multi-view, one of my favorite inventions of this decade. It's exactly what you need to catch all the action, make your Sundays more magical, and also YouTube TV is great. I got it this year. It's awesome. Sign up now at youtube.com/BS. Device and content restrictions apply. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and the Pavilion with me, your host, Stephen Wallace. In today's show, we're thrilled to have Roberta Moretti Avery, one of the most charismatic figures in cricket, back with us. The former Brazilian captain has been on a whirlwind tour of England, immersing herself in the cricket culture by playing, watching and talking about the sport she loves. During her trip, Roberta has been involved in various activities, including playing for Ealing Cricket Club, attending matches in the 100 and even engaging in conversations about cricket at the prestigious Wormsley estate. She also had the chance to try out C6, an exciting new six-a-side cricket format. Hello, Roberta. Welcome back to the show. It's been too long.
Hello, how are you? Super happy to be talking to you about my favorite subject in the whole world, which is cricket.
Yes, cricket. Now, you're on holiday from Brazil. Was that planned a long time ago?
I don't even call it a holiday. I was trying to come to UK this year to spend the season in a club in Kent. But unfortunately, that didn't work out. And I said, okay, I still want to have some time playing in UK this season because of the pitches and to get more experience on grass. And I was invited to be part of the festival called C6, which is a six-a-side festival, really fun one, that was hosted at Wormsley end of July. So I decided after the festival to spend a few more weeks in UK and try to play more games and get involved with the clubs, which has been really good.
Yeah, looking at your socials, if I can put it, you've been playing, watching and talking cricket for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, exactly that. I have been to a lot of places. I have been to a lot of clubs, training sessions. Because when you come to UK, it's really cool because Brazil has a very nice setup, but it's a young setup. When you come to UK, you see the depth of it, much higher quality training. You see the best players in the world. I went to Lords. Lords, how much history there is in Lords? We have 15 years of history. So it's like coming to this metaverse of cricket. So you can learn a lot by just being here.
Let's talk about the playing first. I know you've played at that beautiful ground at Wormsley, where I watched you play actually in, I think it's August 22 for the Fairbreak team. Come on, Fairbreakers! Right. I can hear you in the field now. And you went to this C6 event. Tell us more about that.
So C6 is a new venture, which is about, I think there are 2 main things over there. First, do tours of six-a-side cricket across the world. So in Australia, in Brazil, in Europe, North America, the West Indies, to take tours of six-a-side around the globe. And it's pretty cool because I'm 100% sure that the one in Brazil is going to be in the beach. So playing six-a-side beach cricket is going to be really, really nice. And the game is a little bit different. Instead of an oval as a ground, is an hexagonal. So it's 6 sides, and you have 6 targets. So if the ball goes through this target, it's considered 10 runs. So it makes the game strategy quite interesting because you just have 4 fielders plus a bowler and a keeper, but you have 6 targets to defend. So there was a point in our game, for example, we had to defend like 35, 38 runs on the last over. And didn't matter if the ball went for byes, but didn't matter because this batter was scooping a lot of balls for 10. So our keeper, Yas Daswani from Hong Kong, actually abandoned the keeper position and just went and saved a goal. So we played without a keeper. The whole team gets together, the strategy. So it's really good, really fun. But it's also really good for development as well. So I guess there's going to be a lot of presenting this to clubs, because when you're starting to play cricket, the most boring thing is sometimes you are not really bowling yet. You bat, you get out quickly, and then you're fielding in a position that the ball doesn't come to you. So sometimes starting cricket, getting involved in cricket can be a little bit boring, depending on the club and depending on the coach, depending on the captain that you have with you. So this C6 actually makes it fun. Everybody gets involved. Everybody gets a ball to bowl. Everybody has to be involved in the fielding because you just have 6 people to defend the whole pitch. So I think you're going to listen a lot more of that. And it was a really good first event. And to have that in Wormsley, which is such a special place, you can see the ground has so much history, and bringing this new format has been quite very good.
Sounds like fun. And you had some people well known to this podcast playing. Jenny Thompson, her World Cricket Tour fame, she was there.
Yes, she was there. She played the first game for us. I met Roland as well over there for the first time.
Roland was there. He's on my notes here. Roland, our cricket expert on the Paddock and the Pavilion, he was there as well.
Yes, he was so good. I know Jenny very well. She's in my heart. We speak cricket all the time. And but I know Roland and the work that he's doing in West Indies with women's developing over there. He's doing such a good job. So it was good to actually meet him for the first time and talk about what he's doing over there, and maybe even bringing him to Brazil one day to help us out too.
Yeah, everyone knows Roland. And Roland has been involved as a consultant with Argentina cricket. I know that.
Yes, he has. He told me, and I felt betrayed. So now he has to come to Brazil too.
He'll probably come when we're playing this beach cricket. He'll like that, I think. Yeah.
Yes, I think he will like that as well.
You were also doing some talking at Wormsley as well with Ashley Giles.
Yes, that was so good. So they invited me to do a Q&A and to talk about what is happening in Brazil, women's cricket, to talk about the dogs. But I had Ashley Giles around next to me. And I shared with them that I was in UK when the 2005 Ashes happened, but I didn't play cricket. I didn't know cricket. I didn't watch cricket. So for me, that moment, although I was here living it wasn't part of my life. But since then, as I started playing and loving and watching Test cricket, I already watched that series twice. So it's funny because I didn't live the moment, but 2005 Ashes is a series that it is unforgettable. So to listen a little bit about him and Hoggy's stories and how much love they have for that series was really, really good.
And your husband's English.
He is, but I wasn't with my husband at the time. I was still really young.
But you were at the 2019 World Cup final, if I remember. Yeah.
Yes, we were together in 2019 World Cup final. Very special day.
Now, just picking up on your socials, I know you've also played at Ealing and somewhere near Canterbury, because at Canterbury you were playing with Tina Goff, another guest on this show.
I was. When I came in 2022, I played with Gina in her club, Milford. But now we played for the MCC. So we played together again, not against, because usually if we play internationally, we will play against each other. But for Milford and for MCC, we were in the same team. It's always a pleasure to play with Tina. She's such a nice person, great energy. So it was really good to see her. It was my first time playing for the MCC. As a guest, I'm still not a playing member. My application is on the process. We played at St. Lawrence and Highlands Court versus the team over there. It was really good. And Ealing, it came through a contact from my coach, Leon Cook, and got me in contact with Tammy, which is the women's development person over there. And I played for them last week, and I'm going to play for them this week as well. So I will play at their home ground at Ealing, which is a lovely place.
Oh, wonderful. And I know in the game that you played with Tina said you got 40 runs, not out as well.
I got 48. I had 2 balls to score 4 runs. and I tried to scoop. I had 2 successful scoops at the moment. So I tried to scoop and I had a dot. So in the last ball, I needed a 4. I tried to go straight and I just got 2 runs. So I got 48 not out. I missed my first 50 for MCC Women's. But anyway, it's going to come.
Next time. You were also playing with some players from Japan and Norway.
Yes, the team was really multicultural because we had Hong Kong, Germany, Japan, Norway, Brazil, and UK, all in the same team from MCC.
When I heard you were playing for someone from Japan, I thought instantly you were playing with Shizuka, who I'm going to be speaking to sometime next week, touch wood, because Shizuka Miyagi is also over here playing cricket.
She is. I have been talking to her, but we weren't able to meet. But I didn't play with her. I played with Shimako, which they play together. Well, they don't play together because Shizuka retired, but they used to play together for Japan.
Not only have you been playing, you were watching training, you've told me, with the London Spirit.
Yes, we were invited by MCC Foundation to go to watch London Spirit training women's, and I was so happy because we played with Heather Knight and Tara Norris before, and Meg Lanning is one of my first role models, so I was able to go over there. I didn't go alone. I went with Laura Cardoso, which is also playing a season here in UK. So we went over there. We were able to talk to the coaches, bowling coaches, see their training, see how they prep for the game, and watch them the next day playing at Lord's. The game that I watched, I think they played versus
Birmingham Phoenix.
Phoenix, yes, exactly that. And they won that game. I saw Tara Norris getting a wicket from the media center, which was amazing. So really good. Again, it's one of those opportunities that you learn a lot just by staying there. See what the bowling coach is doing, how they are talking to the players, how the players are preparing for training before matches. So super cool experience. But the next week, we were invited by the Oval Relief Trust Foundation to watch the Oval Invincibles training. So I felt like I cheated a little bit on London Spirit by going and watching Oval Invincibles as well. But again, so good to see how things are done in England. And over in Invincibles, I was able to talk to their psychologists as well, the job that they do over there, how to connect the team, such a short space of time, teams from all over the country, all over the world, players from all over the world, and how to make them connect. So all of these things, I think that we are going to take to Brazil, we are going to talk to our coaches about, and it's going to make our setup better. So these opportunities are really valuable for us.
What a thrill it must have been to walk through the long room watching them train. I mean, I bet you never thought you were ever going to do that when you first started playing cricket.
I actually done that in Australia a few times. I went to watch the Victorian team train and stuff, but it's really good. And also, the women's cricket is very welcoming. So the players are very open to have a chat. The coaches are very up to talk to us. So it's such a good exchange of knowledge. We hope that we are able to bring more Brazilians here, Brazilian coaches to come and be involved in these moments so they can learn more and we can apply that in Brazil.
What did you think to the 100?
In terms of the games, to watch it?
The game itself. What did you think to the concept?
I keep getting lost on the fact that sometimes we don't swap ends. I think if I was a batter, I was gonna go nuts. But I like the way that it makes people go to cricket. It makes girls go to cricket. I have been to a few schools and I have been to a few women's trainings here, and there's nothing. The girls are wearing London Spirit hats, Phoenix hats, Trent Hawkett's hats. They are bowling like Alana King. They are bowling like Lauren Filer. So this is the 100. This is the effect that it has on the new ones that are coming through. I think it's a nice way on the pathway to make them connect with the game. And once they are connected with the game, they will connect with other formats as well. So I think the 100 only gains from the exposure that it has, the way it is set up, and women's cricket gains a lot.
It's been a real boost to the women's game in the UK, and we've got the best players in the world playing in it.
Mm. And one thing, like, it's funny because I was watching this week, Ben Stokes. I watched Ben Stokes and Edgbaston. He scored the quickest 50 that we ever seen. It looks like he was in a hurry. He wanted to finish the series, and he was just like, boom, smashing balls everywhere. He went to the 100 and got a duck.
Yeah, first ball.
First ball. I thought this was hilarious, a way of cricket showing that, it's cricket. And those moments, I think they make you connect. They make you enjoy the game. They make you talk about the game. So I'm a pro 100 person. I'm in favor of that, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of benefits coming from that, especially for women's cricket.
You are listening to The Paddock and the Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. If you like the show, please do give us a favourable rating and review on your podcast outlet. It all helps to drive interest in the podcast. Now let's get back to Roberta. And on that day at Lord's, you got into the Test match commentary box, I believe.
Yes, I did. That's where I saw Tara's wicket from. Yes, again, for me, it's always special to go to Lord's. I maybe because I'm so in love with cricket, and that is the home of cricket. That's a place that has all this history. So it was the second time I was able to be in the media center talking about the game, talking about Brazil, and I felt very special because I was able to explain a little bit of Cricket Brazil for the people that were listening radio that day. It's a special place.
That can only be good, though, for Brazilian cricket. You're really an ambassador for South American cricket, I'd say, women's cricket.
Yeah, and I think I love what we do in Brazil. I love what we have. So for me to talk about that is really easy. I believe in cricket in Brazil. I believe that in the power of it changing lives, because Cricket Brazil was not done to make Laura Cardoso's playing in UK. Cricket Brazil was done to make people change their lives for better, and take the values for underprivileged communities and give opportunity for the ones that don't usually have the opportunities. High performance is a consequence, but our intent is to make people better through sport. So that's a cause that I'm really passionate about. So I can talk about that for hours, and to talk about that at Lord's, it's super cool.
What about sightseeing? You have had some time with your husband Rob to get about, haven't you?
Well, I haven't done any sightseeing that is not cricket related. It's not a surprise, is it?
So what's the bowling machine been doing when you've been...
Oh, he's in Brazil.
Oh, he's not here?
No, he's not here. That's how much cricket is crazy in my life. So Richard is in Brazil.
Richard, sorry, I called him Rob there. Yeah.
That's okay. He will not take offense on that. He's in Brazil. He's preparing for the South American Championships Juniors. That is going to happen on mid-August in our hometown. So he has he's the coach of the under 19 team, and he's prepping over there for them. When I come back, I'm going to help in the organization of that tournament. And so there was no way that he was going to be involved on this tour now.
Talking about Brazil then, since we last spoke, you stood down as the Brazilian women's captain. Are you still going to be playing for Brazil, though?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, since I stepped down from the captaincy, I felt a rush of energy. I don't think I'm going to stop playing anymore. I think I'm going to be the next Jimmy Anderson. Somebody's going to have to stop me if they want to. It's funny because as captain, you have a lot on your shoulders. And it could get very intense very quickly. And Carol, which is our current captain, she is such a lovely girl. She learns so much. She's such a people person. She has been so good at the job. I'm so proud and impressed by her. And he has given me a lot of not only confidence, but willingness to carry on playing. And it's a lighter environment when you're just a player. It's an easier environment when you're just a player. And I'm enjoying it. I didn't know how it was going to be. But I didn't remember a time that I was playing without being a captain. So this step now of actually going, training, focusing on myself, focusing on the relationships in the group, away from the captaincy, mentoring the next ones, and just playing cricket, I'm loving it. So yeah, at least another 2-3 years with Cricket Brazil and maybe more.
Because leadership is important to you, which is some of your talks have been about leadership, haven't they?
Yes, I think a lot of girls, boys is different, but a lot of girls uh, sometimes they struggle to understand how they can influence others in a positive way through leadership. Sometimes they see the other one as a leader, but they don't see themselves as leaders. And in Brazil, we have done a lot of work on that, into the how to see yourself as a leader, how to become leaders, how to use that to improve the setup around you. And I was invited by MCC Foundation to do a similar talk for girls and boys from the hubs at the Springboard program. And I was able to do that here in Surrey, but also in Western Supermare this weekend. Has been really good.
Just getting back to Brazil, what's next for the Brazilian women's cricket team? I looked up and you're now ranked 37th in the world.
Yes, this year on short term, we're gonna have the South American Championship in end of September. We're gonna host Argentina, Mexico, Cayman Islands in Brazil. And the next year, in the first semester, we are gonna have the ICC World Cup qualifiers again, the T21. And what we hope to gain is to strengthen this relationship of Brazil UK, to get more players the experience they need in turf wickets, more knowledge about cricket, so we go back to the 25th to 30th position in the rankings. We have to play more games, but I think that's gonna happen naturally by investing in our players, investing in our setup, investing in our coachings, because things are going well over there. And with the development teams also coming up, I think this is going to happen naturally.
The dream obviously is for Brazil to play in a T20 Women's World Cup.
Absolutely. And why not think of 2030 when we are going to have 16 teams? I think that's a good opportunity. Every associate country will look at that thinking, okay, this is an opportunity for us. 6 more teams going to the World Cup. So yeah, Cricket Brazil definitely looks at that and say, okay, this is something we can aim for. Because we have been talking a lot about the under-19 Girls World Cup, and we believe that we can get that happening in a medium term space. So we want the same thinking about now the World Cup for 2030.
Well, good luck with that. The final question, most important question, is who is looking after Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad back home?
Oh, do you know that we have a Ben Stokes now?
No.
So I rescued a ginger dog.
So is Ben Stokes, does he run the show? Is he in charge of Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad?
That's the thing. He doesn't run the show yet. But he's like the most friendly dog. He loves everyone. Everybody loves him. He's like he has a little bit of an attitude. And when I throw balls for them, he runs the fielding. He gets the balls before everyone and he bosses them around a little bit. So, and he's ginger. So he's Benjamin Stokes. So now we have Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, and Benjamin Stokes at the house. Plus Lizzie, the queen, and Scooby, that is just normal Scooby. So they are well. Richard's taking care of them now. And Jimmy Anderson is devastated since I left. It's the first time I actually travel for a long time since we adopted Jimmy. And Richard said he has been sleeping in my side of the bed. It broke my heart. So he misses mommy. Bless. And I miss Jimmy Anderson, the dog. I cannot say that about the player. I miss Jimmy Anderson as a player as well. He shouldn't have retired, but anyway.
Well, thank you for updating us on the dogs, and hopefully Richard's keeping them in control, or if not, Ben Stokes is. Thank you very much for squeezing me in this morning on our show, and enjoy the rest of your trip. When are you going home? I mean, you'll be home by the time this podcast goes out anyway, but we're recording on the 9th of August. I've checked the date there.
Well, yes, I'm going to listen this at home, definitely. I'll be at home on Tuesday. I'll fly out of here Monday, and we go straight into South American Championship training camp. Um, but thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Hopefully, I'll see you today.
Yeah.
If we
Touchwood at
do,
Lords.
a
Yeah.
picture
Yeah.
is going to be around on social media.
Yeah.
And yes, but thank you so much for the space.
Thank you very much. Safe flight home.
Thank you.
To round off the show, let's hear from Catherine Pearce, the skipper of Ealing's women's team, who will give us the inside scoop on how Roberta performed during her stint with the London side. What was it like to have a Brazilian international playing for Ealing?
It was a pretty special experience. We've been very lucky to have a couple of overseas players come and join us, but to have the Brazilian captain, just her skill, her positivity, her experience, her knowledge of cricket was just so incredible to have and to see, and her enthusiasm. And she just jumped straight in with the team. In our team, we've got juniors to seniors, we've got under 13s through to senior women who've been playing cricket their whole lives, and Roberta just fit in straight away and was able to be part of the team even though she'd never met us anymore, hadn't met us before. So it was wonderful. It was a really fantastic experience, and she was very inspiring.
She's certainly inspiring, enthusiastic, all of those things. The big question, how did Roberta get on?
Well, so we played a 30-over league match, and she started in the field. And then I had been told she was mostly a batter, but that she did bowl as well. So I brought her on for 4 overs, and she took 1 for 8, which was pretty exciting. Got a pretty big wicket there, which was very, very nice. And then we ended up chasing, and Roberta came out at 4 and managed to get 50 not out and win us the game. So really, really big day for her.
Not a bad start. I was going to say for her first game, but she'd played for Ealing before.
This was her second game. The previous week, she also bowled, didn't take any wickets, so I'm not going to mention that one, but she batted and got 45. So not quite as close to the 50 not out, but she played really well the week before, and we were very, very lucky to get her back for the second week.
So she's currently got an average of 95 for Ealing.
For Ealing in 2 games, which is a lot better than my average, and I've been playing for a much longer time. So I'm a little bit annoyed, if I have to say.
Did you get to bat yourself with Roberta in either game?
I did in the first game. We had a lovely little partnership, and we opened the batting in the first game. And what was really nice was to be able to stand at the other end and watch her, and just watch the experience, the skill, the cricket brain on her to read the field, know when to drop and take a single, know when to call no run or push the fielders if we knew we were going to make the single. So that was lovely, was to have that experience. And when you come into the middle at the end of the over, have a little bit of chat and say, you've got this. She said to me, let's just keep going. We had plenty of time. I decided to get out, and then Roberta played on with a number of our other batters, and so they all got that experience as well. And then in our second game, I decided to get a golden duck, so unfortunately did not get to bat with her the second game, but it was an absolute masterclass to sit on the boundary and watch her just take on the opposition, find that quick single, put them under pressure. And it was, incredible to watch.
She has played with and against world stars. And before she played her second game for Ealing, she'd been training or watching training with the London Spirit and Heather Knight.
I mean, it sort of blows my mind occasionally that thinking about that, she was off doing that and then, popped down to Ealing Cricket Club down in West London and was there for our Sunday match. And then we had a drink afterwards and had a chat about the game, and it was kind of like you were there doing that with this this 100 team, and then you're playing with me club cricket on a Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. I think that's one of the best things about cricket is the scale of the experience and the opportunities it provides for both, junior level to senior level, club cricket to international, you get those opportunities to experience everything.
Before we end, we must have a quick advert for Ealing Cricket Club. How many teams have you got? How many players have you got? Junior teams? What have you got?
So Ealing Cricket Club out in West London, we play 6 senior men's teams. We've got a senior women's team that plays on a Sunday, and I can't tell you the number of juniors that we have, but I can tell you there are a lot of them running around at Friday night training. I know a number of our juniors have made national finals, and our under-15s have done really well. Our under-13s have done really well. So the club is really thriving, and I'm very proud to be part of such an amazing team and club. And yeah, it's wonderful, really, really wonderful. And anybody is welcome to come down and join us.
And also, you're very familiar with the podcast scene as well. You were telling me off air.
I am indeed. 2 of our men's senior players, 2 and a bit years ago, going on 3 years ago now, decided that they would get into the podcast game. It's called The Ealing Cricketer, and I was lucky enough to be a guest, and now I'm involved behind the scenes with it. But it's mostly during the season. We catch up with what's happened in the games on the weekends, from the men's first 11 all the way through to the 6th 11. With the women, what's happening on a Sunday, special events at the club, our President's Day, our big weekends. We talk to non-members. We had an episode at the first 11 captain's wedding. So yeah, if anybody wants to have a listen, it's the Ealing Cricketer. We're on Instagram and on Spotify. And thanks for letting me have this shout out.
But more importantly, you're familiar with editing as well. That's fun.
Yes. I spend a lot of time cutting down the waffle of our men's players, and they all know they waffle as well. So there's some. They always come up to me afterwards and go, "Wow, I sounded a lot better than I thought I did." And I went, "Yeah, funny about that."
Well, you sound fine on this podcast, Catherine. You'll always remember the day when Roberta Moretti Avery played for Ealing. I
don't think I will ever forget it. It was something that just came out of the blue. We were lucky enough to have a contact through Tammy O'Connell, who was our head of women and girls. She dropped me a message and said, "You're going to have this amazing opportunity." And we took it with both hands and ran with it. We were lucky enough to present her with a shirt. So she's going to be repping our club wherever she goes. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to play with her. And I wish her all the best and hope she comes back next season and signs as our overseas.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.